Good evening, Zimbabwe. Welcome to Live Talk. We are coming to you from Studio 7 at the Voice of America in Washington. It's a Friday, February the 18th, 2022. I am Ntungamili Nkomo.
And I'm Marvellous Mhlanga. We are broadcasting from my home in Washington, D.C. due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Tonight, we are looking at the ongoing campaigns for the by-elections scheduled for March 26, with the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission pushing back strongly today against charges that is manipulating the voters' roll with the intention of rigging the ballot for ZANU-PF. Also, in Harare today, the Citizens Coalition for Change says 7 of its supporters were arrested and their vehicles were impounded for the simple reason that they were on the campaign trail. Marv.
And we also saw ZANU-PF launching its second program, to support the by-elections in Bulawayo today. And so we'll be seeing more campaigns being launched as we go into the weekend.
Lingaba lichona njani emakhaya sikuhlelo lwe Live Talk singumsakazo we Studio 7. Lamhlanje siqhubeka ngendaba yokukhankasela ukhetho lama-by-elections oluzaqhutshwa mhla ka-26. Udaba olumqoka esilubonileyo lamuhla ngolweZimbabwe Electoral Commission iphuma isenza umhlangano lentatheli izindaba ilandula imbiko ekhitshwa zinhlanganiso ezijiyeneyo ezifana labo Pachelu ukuthi iZEC iphakathi kokutshintsha singathi i-voters roll uluhlu lwabantu abalelungelo lokuvota ngenjongo yokuqilibezela ikukhetho on behalf of ZANU-PF. Bayakulandula lokho abeZEC bathi lokho ngamanga, bathi olobufakazi makaze phambili. Kodwa abanye bathi hayi ukulandula kweZEC lokho is unconvincing. Sikhangele njalo ngempela sonto sizabona imihlangano echiyeneyo yamabandla ezombusazwe. Namuhla iZANU-PF ibisemaswinko kuthi koBulawayo lakho ibikhona bekulobaba uMohati babe lamarali okukhankasela ukhetho. Ibandla likaChamisa ele Citizens Coalition for Change sibone likhala njalo ngokuthi kulamalunga alo abotshiweyo eHarare namuhla athathelwa izimota ngesizathu sokuthi ebekhankasela ukhetho. Ngolunye udaba esiza luphatha lolo ngoba uChamisa yakhala uthi abasekeli bakhe bayahlukuluzwa mahlayana nje kanti bafakelwa imigoqo eminengi engafakelwa iZANU-PF. Sibone amapolisa izolo emupha imvumo yokwenza umhlangano wakhe eZimbabwe grounds ngesonto. Kodwa kule migoqo egoqela ukuthi abasekeli bakhe akumelanga bachaye itoyitoyi, akumelanga bahambe ngama-convoys, izimota ezinengi bechaya ama-slogan, kanti akumelanga bathwale abantu abavela kwamanye ama-constituencies besiza labo ekulumhlangano, okuyinto leli bandla ethi iZANU-PF iyayenza kungela migoqo. Yilo udaba esingalo lamhlanje khonapha emsakazweni wenu Marv.
Tokutungamidzai pano pachirongwa chenyu patiri kutaura nhasi zvakasiyana-siyana pamusoro pezvatiri kuona zviri kuitika munyika. Tiri kutarisa isu pamusoro penyaya yezviri kuitika mugadziriro yema-by-elections ari kuwanikwa iwo. Takaona mapato akasiyana-siyana vakatotanga svondo rapera. Takaona ZANU-PF iri munzvimbo yeEpworth uko takaona vachiparura ivo chirongwa chavo chekuwanikwa vachitsvaga rutsigiro rwema-by-elections. Tikaona zvakare MDCT yavamonzora kana kuti MDC Alliance yavamonzora tichionawo vari muHarare imomo mavanga vari kutsvagawo zvakare rutsigiro paweekend iyo yapfuura. Tinoona zvakare kuti ZANU-PF nhasi iri kubulawayo uko vari kuenderera mberi nekutsvaga rutsigiro rwekuti vawanikwe vachivhoterwa mumaby elections iwaya. Asi zvakare toona kuti pane musangano mukuru uri kutarisirwa kuitwa nebato reCitizens Coalition for Change ravachamisa, apo ivo vari kuti zvavakawanikwa mvumo yavakapiwa kuti vaite musangano wavo nemusi wesvondo hazvina kufanana nezvavakaona zvinoitwawo mvumo inopiwa kumapato akadai seZANU-PF neMDC Alliance. Vakanzi ivo mutsamba yavakapiwa nemapurisa havafanire kunge vachiunza vanhu vari mumabhazi, havafanire zvakare kuwanikwa ivo vachiita zvinhu zvakadai sekuimba nezvimwe zvinhu zvakadaro, asi ivo vachichema-chema vachiti tiri kuona zvinhu zvakadai zvichiitika kumisangano yeZANU-PF. Tichange zvakare tiri kuzeya taona bato kana kuti gungano reZEC richibuda nhasi richitaura iro kuti manyepo ekuti ivo pari zvino vari kuwanikwa vachiita zvisina kururama panyaya yevoters roll, asi zviri kutaurwa nemamwe masangano akazvimirira. Vari kuti nekuti vari kunzi ivo ZEC iri kuwanikwa iyo ichigadzira mapepa kuti vawanikwe zvichabuda musarudzo zvinge zvakarerekera bato reZANU-PF, asi sangano iri nhasi rabuda chiti aiwa vari kuzorwa mafuta enguruve yavasina kudya. Saka ndo zvimwe zvatichange tiri kukurukura ipo pano, tichiedza kunzwa kubva kuvanyarikani vedu kuti vanoona sei zviri kuitika munyaya iyi. Ntunga.
And as usual, we have a star-studded panel here to help us dissect all these issues. We have Dr. Masimba Mavaza of ZANU-PF, journalist and social commentator Simbarashe Nembaware, as well as Mr. Tawanda Zokora, who will be joining us, I'm sure, shortly, of the Citizens Coalition for Change. Now let's go straight to Simbarashe Nembaware. Let's dive in, Simba. Pachedu has been raising serious allegations that the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission is engaged in voter registration manipulation with the aim of helping ZANU-PF rig elections next year. And we saw ZEC today coming out strongly saying that, and I quote here, they're saying that is a myth and a fallacy. There's never been vote rigging in Zimbabwe, and they ZEC, are not planning on rigging these elections. Besides that, they are saying that allegations that they are using the CIA or the intelligence to register people, there's nothing wrong there. What do you make of this, Simba?
It's understandable that such allegations will be raised against ZEC because the institution years before exhibited questionable behaviors, and so unless such fears are allayed, these things will always be raised. So it's election season, and everyone has to is bound to question the legitimacy of ZEC, and it's understandable also for ZEC to come out quelling those fears. And what I'm not so sure about is them saying it's okay for ZEC to be using members of the intelligence in the registration process. I think that's a way of militarizing it. Or yeah, we can't have security forces manning such a critical organ of the elections. So that brings into question the impartiality, because the CIO, they stand for the government and they work for the governing party of the time. So it's understandable for Pachedu to raise these questions. And also what we need is for ZEC to clearly state and also give evidence to the contrary, that they're not manipulating the system to favor ZANU-PF.
Thank you there, Simba, and please do stay on the line while I bring in Mr. Tawanda Tsokora of the Citizens Coalition for Change, led by Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Vatsokora tinogamuchirai muchirongo.
Thank you, Magadi Muria Zimbabwe yakateerera.
Yeah, we saw today, Mr. Zokora, ZEC coming strongly after you and Pachedu without, of course, mentioning names. They are saying that you are trying to undermine the voter registration process by raising unfounded allegations about the manipulation of the voters' roll. According to ZEC, there is no rigging plans underway and there's never been rigging in Zimbabwe. They are saying that is a myth and a fallacy. What say you?
Yes, ZEC will always say that, ZANU-PF will always say that, and we have always said ZEC is ZANU-PF, ZANU-PF is ZEC. That's one of the electoral reforms that we are fighting for, so that there is this separation between ZANU-PF and ZEC. It is common knowledge that most of the people that are working in ZEC are former army officials. And we know it because it's there. It's factual. That's not being manufactured. I think you also remember a few weeks ago, Jacob Ngaruvume went to the ZEC offices and he saw the receptionist and the people that are there, being manned by soldiers. Outside, there were also soldiers, and even himself, when he went outside, he was almost manhandled by soldiers. Why do we have the army at the ZEC offices? Why do we have a heavy police presence at the ZEC offices? This is supposed to be a public office, where we shouldn't be seeing any military and any police at all. But this is what we've been saying anyway. We have always said the electoral field in Zimbabwe, it's not level, and everything has been starting and ending at ZEC. We have seen dead people voting. You have seen it. People that died, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, they are still on the voters' roll. And but now the good thing is we have citizens, we have people of Zimbabwe that have an interest in what is going on in ZEC. Sometimes it's not even the CCC. It is just ordinary citizens that are unearthing all these shenanigans that we are seeing at ZEC. Like you have mentioned, Pachedu, they are doing a great job. Right now as we are speaking, they've been posting that there are people that are being registered from the same house. You see 50 people, 40 people, 20 people being registered from the same house. And then when you try to make investigations, you see that that house is owned by a ZANU-PF official and sometimes a candidate. So all these things, they are there. The evidence is there. What Pachedu is unearthing is being backed by evidence. So they can come here and deny it. They can go on social media and on the traditional media and deny it, but the evidence is there. ZEC is trying to rig the elections, in favor of ZANU-PF.
Siyabonga baba Tsokora, liyamuzwa lapho ubaba Tsokora uthi hayi kunjalo njengokutsho kwenhlanganiso yePachedu uthi bayavumelana labo ukuthi iZEC igilimkhuba lapha bazama ukuqilibezela kukhetho oluzayo ngokutshintsha i-voters roll besusa abantu endaweni abavele bevotela kuzo bebafaka kwezinye indawo ezingaziwayo. Maf
Regeti ende kuna Dr. Masimba Mavaza veZANU-PF tinzwawo pfungwa dzavo panyaya iyoyi yezviri kutaura ZEC. Tanzwa vatawanda dzokora vachitaurawo vakamirira bato ravo reCitizens Coalition for Change. Tikanzwa zvakare munyarikani wedu vasina kwavakarerekera vachitaurawo pfungwa dzavo. Regai tinzwa kuti iyo ZANU-PF iri kuti chii sezvo varivo vari kunzi ndo vari kushanda neZEC iyi.
Thank you. Kutanga toda kuti bopoto rinoitika kana takatarisana nesarudzo rinowanzokonzerwa nemagwara, nhubu naradada vasingade kuti vanhu vave nekubatana nekuenderera mberi negutsa ruzhinji. Sangano rinoona nezvesarudzo rinonzi ZEC harisi sangano rebato reZANU-PF, harisi sangano remunhu, isangano renyika yeZimbabwe, isangano rinoona nekuongorora nekubatsira kuti sarudzo dzienderere mberi. Basa ravo ravanofanira kuita risingazivikanwe navadzokora, vanobvumidzwa kuenda kunorejista vanoda kuvhota, vanonyoresa nekuona kuti inonzi voters register yaya yagadzirwa up to standard. Kana vachinge vadaro havangorisa up, vanodaidza mabato akasiyana siyana kuti uyai muzoinspector inonzi voter registration inspection. Kana muchinge maenda hamuendeko muchinzi muri weZANU kana muri vanhu vechii. Ende vanhu vanenge vari kunyorwa vari kuregister to vote havasi vanhu vanoendako nebato ravo, asi vanhu vanoendako sevana veZimbabwe. Chepiri, ndanzwa kunyunyuta nekugunun'una kuchibuda mumwoyo masekuru svosve. Tingangovaregera because masvosve kana kuti matsoko dzinongovhunduka kana mhepo. Kuvhunduka chatikwata vanenge vachiziva zvavanoita. Chekutanga, imba yose yose kana bato rese rese remuZimbabwe rine basa riri pamusoro rinobvumirwa kuchengetedzwa nemauto kana kuchengetedzwa nemapurisa kuitira kuti risapinde mudambudziko, vasabatwe kana kuvhiringwa nevatadzi. Saka pavakasvika vachiona pane mapurisa panga pasina mauto ba, Ngarivhunyandi akaona pane mapurisa. Ibasa remapurisa kuchengetedza nzvimbo dzese dzevanhu vakaita sezeki, semagovernment offices, mabuildings, vanhu vese vari vulnerable vanogona kupinzwa munyatwa nenhubu dzatinoona idzi zvinonge dzamaine chombo zveMDC kana veCCC ava. Hurumende inobvumirwa kuti mapurisa vachengete. Saka zvinobva zvapindura mubvunzo wataurwa, point yataurwa navadzokora yekuti kuzeka hakufaniri kugara mapurisa. Aiwa, pfungwa shoma dzinoremera vatenzi nebasa. Kuzeki kunofanira kugara mapurisa kuitira kuti tisanyangadzwe. Chatofanira kuziva Gibbs ndechekuti zeki ndo vanoongorora kuti yatingati gutsa ruzhinji kana kuti democracy pachirungu yaitwa here kuburikidza nesarudzo. Saka zvazvinoreva manje zvekuti kana vachinge vachiita basa iri, kune vamwe vanovafarira nevamwe vanovavenga. Kune vamwe vanofunga kuti kana vakundwa nekuti havana kuverengerwa sarudzo yavo zvakanaka. Saka nekuda kwekuti kune vamwe vanenge vachinyunyuta mukati umu, ndo zvinopa kana zvinosunda kuti hurumende ichengetedze bato rezeki, kwete kurichengeta because rinopa mafavors. Chepiri, imwe nhano yandoda kuti nditaure Gibbs, hachisi chokwadi kuti zeki inobatsira kuriga elections, nekuti zeki haina chainobatsira. Inonyora zita remunhu auya kwavari nenhamba dzake dzechitupa, vobva vamunyora arejistwa, vozocheka nemarekodzi avo kuti havana here munhu mumwe chete arejista kairi kana katatu. Kana vachinge vapedza kudaro, vanogadzira yatatu iya inonzi the voters register, kana kuti the voters roll and the register, yekuti vanhu vanozoya vachitsvaga mazita avo. Munhu wese anobvumirwa kuenda pazeki. Ko unogotya mupurisa uri tsotsi here? Kana pane mupurisa anongokubvunza, maya muda kubatsirwa here? Mudani, muda chakati endai apa. Mupurisa ari kungodaro nekuti ndiye yatingati first point of call for protection of every Zimbabwean and any organization aligned to the government or to the country. So
I see, Dr. Mabaza, if the government is really serious about instilling some modicum of confidence in ZEC, why are they employing security officials? Why are the CIO involved in the voter registration process? Why can't they employ civilian professionals to do the job? Why bring in these people who are tainted already? People have no confidence in the CIO, in the police when it comes to impartiality in terms of politics. Why bring them in?
Dambudziko riripo Gibbs nderekuti muri kuteerera nhema dzakawanda dzinogadzirwa.
No, that's not true. Ndipinde ipapo, Dr. Mavaza. Zeki vanga vachitaura nhasi, they never said that is not true. Vataura kuti the constitution allows them to employ anyone as long as they are Zimbabweans or anyone from government.
Mm-hmm. Ndati muri kutenga munhema dzinotaurwa nevavengi vakavenga zeki. Zeki haina kutaura kuti yakaemploya masoja kana haina kuvaemploya. Asi yakati munhu wese wemuZimbabwe kana achinge achiqualifya ane mvumo yekupiwa basa nezeki.
But why Maporisa nema Soja nema CIO when we know already people have no confidence in Zek? Why don't they bring in my civilian professionals?
Tekachasa pama employment list yezeki. Hakuna ma serving members police or army ma ex
ma CIO
akambosevenza. Hakuna ve-CIO vanosevenza kuZeki.
But Zeki haina kuzviramba izvozvo nasi.
And haina kuzvibvuma izvozvo.
But they didn't say no.
And they didn't say yes. So on that basis, you are working.
No, they justified why they are employing the CIO, which is as good as saying yes, we are employing the CIO.
Nyaya rapa ndekuti Zeki yataura kuti haina chinoirambidza kupinza basa vanhu vanenge vabva kumamwe mapato ehurumende nekuti they are open for that job. Asi havana kuti ndo vanhu varimo muZeki. Kune vazhinji vasiri mapurisa, vasiri masoja, vasiri ma-CIO vangobva kuchikoro nevamwe vanga vane mabasa akasiyana siyana vari muZeki. Tarisai ma-commissioners acho eZeki havasi masoja, havasi mapurisa. Anasilaigwana vamwe vakatorwawo from somewhere. Saka hatidi kungopembedza manyepo ekuti Zeki yakazara nemapurisa. Haisi Kembi, haisi police station. It's an organization which is created to see that the democracy is being available and kept in Zimbabwe. It's a democratic duty yao yeku-operate nekuranda ma-elections edu aitwa zvakanaka here. Saka munhu achinga apinda basa kuZeki ava employee yeZeki haachisiri zvaakanga ari kare. When you are employed by Zeki Gibbs, you cease to become a soldier. You become a Zeki employee. It is what you were
just to correct, Ntungamili Nkomo, you've been saying Gibbs all along. It's Ntungamili Nkomo, but it's okay.
You look alike. Nkomo, sorry. I did not.
No, it's okay. Wrap it up so that we can go back to other guests.
Exactly. Let me wrap it up. So what I'm saying in short here, because I've been saying in short here, it is a lie that Zeki is planning to rig the elections. Zeki has no interest or benefits in who wins or who loses. They will remain Zeki. It's an independent organization. Number two, the problem we are having here in Nkomo is that CCC, Zokora and these losers, they have a problem. They are creating a complaint already of unfairness in elections, before elections. They know they're going to lose, but they are creating a reason to protest, a reason to come up and complain. They are creating...
The fairness of the police is, questionable here, Dr. Mabaza, because we saw Nezuro. We saw yesterday, they allowed Chamisa to hold this rally in Harare on Sunday. But the conditions were so stringent. They're not allowed to chant my slogans, my convoys, and so forth. But hold your thought. Let me go to hold your thought there, Dr. Mabaza. I'll come back to you. We are kulmalapu babu Mabaza Simba. We are muzwa uti hai. Izek njengo ukuluma kwayo ukulumayo. And by the way, we must say ukuthi ubaba uSilayigwana uHloyile Silayigwana ubaba Mabaza akhuluma ngaye is a former soldier, is a military guy. But go ahead, Simba.
Yeah, nyamuzwa forward lapha. Uhlupho lukhona ukuthi ke igama elithi Zeki livele letha insolo nxa sikhangela indaba zama elections. Okulusizi ke ukuthi asila enhlanganiso engasibhekela ama elections ngaphandle kwayo. So ufunakalayo ukuthi ke ihlanjululo iZeki sikhiphe okubi like isebenze ezifana lamasotsha amapolisa okuyibo abantu abasolayo. So until then kuzahlala kulembuzo ngeZeki. and-ke abawukhulumileyo namuhla ukuthi hayi bona njengezek balelungelo lokuqhatsha yiloba ngubani oyizalwane seZimbabwe, ingabe lipholisa, ingabe lisotsha, kuselungelweni labo, i-constitution yabavumela. I think lokho kuletha-ke ungasuthiseki kulabo abathi-ke akube lama-electoral reforms, ngoba ngezinye izinto abantu abezikhuluma ukuthi hayi, as long as kulamasotsha, kulamapholisa, kunhlanganiso ezibheka ama-elections, ngeke sithole ukhetho olunjani, olu-free and fair, ngoba amasotsha abhekela ini ibandla elibusayo. So kulusizi ukuthi-ke namhla iZEC ibuye ikhuluma into enjalo ukuthi hayi, ubona they're operating within the constitution, balelungelo lokuqhatsha yiloba ngubani. Umfowethu uthi uqhatshwe ama-ex-military. Siyawazi ukuthi-ke amasotsha avele aqhubeka le discipline yayo, whether ex-soldier kumbe i-current serving, bahamba ngonyathelo olufananayo. Singakutsho kodwa-ke ukuthi njengoba siya ekhethweni, amabandla wonke azaletha ukusola ngendlela ukhetho oluqhuba ngakhona. Kuthange nje iZANU-PF ithe kulamalungayo akade echawa elodengula lapha koBulawayo bekhankasa. So iZANU layo izithola iletha imbiko yokuthi hayi ukhetho luzaba unfair ngoba abantu bayabavunyelwa ukukhankasa. Ngapha uChamisa obesiya campaigner wathi hayi uza campaigner, yebo kodwa ngeke uhambe emgwaqweni umemeza, ngeke uletha abantu abavela kwezinye iziqinti. Sibona ukuthi i-ground ayikho level, ayifanani. Loba iZANU-PF izakhuluma ukuthi amalunga achayiwe, asonto esijayele ukuyizwa le, kuyasetha ukuthi vele ngubani olesibindi sokuchaya ilunga leZANU-PF, ngubani. Bona abachayiwe sebebotshiwe na, ngoba into iZANU-PF ehlala ibuza la ukuthi hayi amalunga eMDC achayiweyo ahamba ayaripota ngaphi i-police case. So sifuna ukubona la ukuthi iZANU-PF elobhengula koBulawayo amalunga achayiweyo aripotile yini, abachayiwe khona sebebotshiwe na. Then sizabakwazi ukuthi hayi ngeqiniso amapholisa awathathi macele. Sifuna ukubona abantu abanjalo bebotshwa. Unfortunately ngendlela amapholisa asebenza ngayo, babonisile ngecampaign kaChamisa ukuthi hayi akukajintshi. Amapholisa lokho bandlulula, awanikezi amabandla aphakathi kokhetho i-treatment efananayo, ngoba ngeke uthi elinye ibandla ngeviki edlulileyo likhankasile ePorth, abantu babuya bevela kwezinye iziqinti. Wena namuhla usuya campaigner, ngeke ulethe abantu bevela kwezinye iziqinti, okuyinto embi. Kodwa ngelinye ilihlo kuyinto enhle ngoba kuzenza ukuthi ibandla eliphikisayo libone ukuthi lilosekelo olungakanani kuleyo ndawo, lingalethanga abantu avela kwezinye izigaba. Nxa kuzathiwa baza campaigner eMakhokhoba bengaletha abantu avela kwezinye indawo, bazabona ukuthi eMakhokhoba silamavoters angu-1000, senzani ngakho sisiya phambili.
Aiwari gaiti imboenda kuna vatawanda dzvukura tombonzwawo panyaya yegadziriro yavo yemusangano wavo yemusi wesvondo vari kuona zvipi zvavari kunyunyuta nazvo, nokuti tiri kuona pane tsamba iri kunzi yakabva kumapurisa vachitaura zvakawanda mutsamba iyoyo zvinofanira kunge zvisingaitwe pamusangano wavo wemusi wesvondo, asi zvatiri kuona zvichiitwa nemamwe mapato akadai seMDC Alliance uyezve neZANU-PF.
Zvikuru sei nyaya yekuti vasaunze vanhu nemabhazi from other places pamusangano wava Mhlanga kuEpworth svondo rapfuura, takaona kwakanga kwakazara mabhazi. Nhasi kwaKembo Mohade kuBulawayo kwanga kune mabhazi ako. Asi go ahead Vadzokora.
Yes, I think it's now clear. We know that there are some political parties that are sweethearts for ZANU-PF. Political parties are being treated differently. You've seen how badly and how unfairly the CCC is being treated. ZANU-PF had its own rally in Epworth last weekend, and they bussed people. All the people that were there, half of them were bussed. Nothing was said about it. They were singing, they were dancing, they were sloganeering. Now the CCC movement is saying we also want to have a similar rally, and the rules change completely. You can't sloganeer. you can't sing, you can't bus people, you can't move around people. They've already put a ban in town, interstate travel, that no muchovas, no small cars will be moving without, with more than 2 people. The rules have completely changed. So what kind of an electoral field is that? And what kind of a government is that? Because the people that they are saying all these things for, they are putting all these stringent conditions for, it's not entirely the CCC. It's not President Chamisa. It's the people of Zimbabwe. It's the citizens of Zimbabwe. The citizens want to go and attend a rally of their choice. But now we can see here a strategy, a clear strategy of trying to make the CCC rally a flop. They want to make sure that as many people do not travel to Highfield as possible. But unfortunately, that is not going to be. The people are mobilizing. Our officials are running around making sure that this rally becomes a success. And the people themselves, they are convicted. They want to be at the rally. And they are going to be at the rally. And you cannot stop an idea whose time has come. ZANU-PF is not going to be able to stop the people because the people know what they want. They know how much they are suffering, and they know who is causing that much suffering. And they also know who has the solutions to the suffering that is going on in Zimbabwe. They know that CCC and President Chamisa have the solutions. They have the answer to everything that is going on in Zimbabwe. And you are going to see that they are going to turn in their thousands, despite what ZANU-PF is doing. I don't know how Dr. Mawaza can explain, the differences in the treatment of political parties. We also saw in Highfields, the same area where we are going to be having our rally. We saw Monzora having his own rally. It was called the mother of all rallies. And there was nothing that was on the way. No roadblocks, no stringent conditions. And sloganeering was going on. People were singing and dancing. The busing was also there. The few people that attended Monzora's rally, they were all bussed. They were all there, bussed. But now CCC wants to have a similar rally. The conditions change. So this is an unfair electoral field, and that needs to change. That needs to stop. ZANU-PF is not punishing the leadership of the CCC. ZANU-PF is punishing the people that it purports to represent. ZANU-PF is crushing the democracy that it always claims that is prevailing in Zimbabwe. But it's not there. If you are not allowed to go and hear or support and be at a rally where you want to be, then where is the democracy that ZANU-PF is preaching about? So we urge Zimbabweans that are listening right now and Zimbabweans that are here, please talk to your friends, talk to your families, wherever they are, that there is a mother of all rallies at the Zimbabwe grounds. We all know the history that is carried by Zimbabwe grounds. That's where all rallies that end up liberating the country, are done. It's Zimbabwe grounds. So all roads should be leading and must be leading and will be leading to the Zimbabwe grounds. Let's talk to our friends, let's talk to our folks, and let's make sure that everyone turns up on Sunday for that rally.
Thank you, Mr. Zokora. And going back to the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission denying that is trying to rig next year's elections on behalf of ZANU-PF, we must also say that ZEC says it has now suspended its employees who allegedly shared a copy of the voters' roll with Pachedu that this organization is now using to expose what it says attempts by the commission to rig the ballot. And going back to the issue of political violence and intimidation, Mr. Zokora, We saw your party, the Citizens Coalition for Change, saying today some of its supporters, 7 or so, were arrested for campaigning in Harare. And it's also alleging that ZANU-PF members are going door to door in Harare East, I think, intimidating its members not to go to this rally. And but we also saw ZANU-PF last week, or is it earlier this week, alleging that your members attacked its supporters in Juve, in Bulawayo. How do you respond?
Right now, Ntunga, if you go on social media, the Twitter, the Facebook, everywhere, all those social media platforms are awash with violent situations, people being beaten up by ZANU-PF. As you correctly said, right now, people, as we are speaking, people are being beaten up in Harare. In Harare East, people were arrested when Honorable Tendai Biti was having his own rally there, including himself. I don't know how Dr. Mabaza can explain something like that a whole member of parliament and a vice president of the biggest political party in the country can just be arrested for nothing. There were no charges against him. He was just arrested. Do you see anything like that, Mabaza? Do you see anything like that happening in the United Kingdom where you are staying? There is nothing. You can only see something like that in Zimbabwe. That's where it happens, that a member of parliament can be arrested, put in cells, and nothing is done. No charge at all. And we saw the orgy of violence that is being, orchestrated by ZANU-PF on our members. Yesterday, we had a young DJ for Change Radio. He is in crutches. He's a disabled young man who is trying to make a living. He was assaulted kusanzwa tsitsi kwevanhu veZANU-PF. Vakamusvikira pamba pake kuHighfield. Painge paine maposters edu rally. Vakatanga kubvarura maposters iwayo. But when they were doing that, someone was taking pictures of what they were doing. And he was also doing that, this young man, Venaldo. And they came after him. Why are you taking pictures? And they assaulted him. They assaulted the wife. They assaulted the mother. They assaulted the father. They assaulted the children. And they were singing and dancing. They were toying, singing ZANU-PF songs, clearly indicating that they were members of ZANU-PF. Assaulting a disabled person who could not even defend himself. As we are speaking right now, he's in hospital, heavily assaulted. So this is the violence that is being unleashed on our members, on Zimbabweans, on citizens by ZANU-PF, and the police are also there. They don't do anything. They don't arrest anyone. We make all those reports, but nobody is ever arrested. This young man Venaldo, after being assaulted, he went to the police, and the police told him that we can't do anything. There's no electricity. So they could not even open a docket, because allegedly they were saying there is no electricity. But we all know that ZRP, doesn't work like that. They have books where they write, they could have logged in whatever Venaldo was reporting, but that was not done. But Venaldo's situation is just one in a million. Not 1 in a million. It's an indication of the thousands that are being assaulted by ZANU-PF every day. And all this, they want to, make sure that people don't go and register to vote, and they don't go and vote. And of course, with regards to the rally on over the weekend, they want to intimidate people out of not going to that rally. We know that when it comes to violence, it's ZANU-PF that has a DNA of violence. We don't have a history of violence. We only interact with violence when it has been, orchestrated against us. That's when we experience violence.
Siyabonga Baba Zokora abasanda kusixhuma bachangoti bata, those who've just joined in. This is Studio 7, and tonight we are talking about the campaigns for the by-elections scheduled for March 26, with the Citizens Coalition for Change alleging harassment and violence by the police, while the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission also is pushing back against charges by Pachedu and the Citizens Coalition for Change that they are trying to rig next year's elections on behalf of ZANU-PF. And our guests tonight, we have Tawanda Zokora of the Citizens Coalition for Change, Simbarashe Nembaware, my good friend, a journalist, a social commentator, as well as Dr. Masimba Mavaza of ZANU-PF. Mav.
Regai tiende kuna Dr. Mavaza tinzwo kuti vari kutii nezviri kutaurwa navadzokora ve-Citizens Coalition for Change, nekuti vari kuti ivo aiwa pane vamwe vanhu vavanoshanda navo vakatowana vachishungurudzwa mazuva apfuura ipapapa, vakamirira kuti pange paine musangano wavo mukuru wemusi wesvondo.
Thank you, thank you, Marv. Marv and Nkomo, let me start by saying, I think in this platform, I literally and really ask for fairness, which sometimes is lacking. Why do I say so? The two other panelists, they are all almost on the same side. I have to defend my party from the two other panelists. But when you give me a chance to talk, you give me half of what the two have put together as one. That becomes unfair. And on Jokora, while he vomits whatever he was vomiting, he gets all the hour. And that is not fair on ZANU-PF, and that's not fair on me. And it means I'm just here to dress the panelists, but not to defend my party, as I'm supposed to do. So what I'm asking for is fairness on time, and with bearing in mind, I'm defending two different people saying facts which needs to be clarified by the party. And if that is not done, it's not being fair.
Noted, Dr. Mabaza, but being fair is all we strive for on this platform. But please go ahead.
Yeah, the first thing I have two issues to answer. Firstly, let me deal with the issue of ZEC. ZEC had come out clear to talk about the alleged vote rigging. Time and again, the commission has been accused by people for vote rigging because people don't understand the weight of ZEC. People who come to count the votes are not ZEC members. ZEC members are commissioners and some other staff who support ZEC in overseeing the process of the voting. Actually, we need to know that there is a mandate provided in terms of the Constitution for ZEC to work in the capacity it does. So the voters' roll each year leading to an election, the voters' roll is put to the public, and the people are supposed to come and see it and inspect it. The complaints of rigging, which come from Pachedu and from Jokora and the CCC, without mentioning many names, it's just a fallacy of their imagination, a point where they are saying, should they fail, should they lose elections, then they will come back and say, because we've been rigged by ZEC itself. They will come up very soon and tell you that they are being rigged by ZANU-PF as well. So we know that the alleged 2022 voters roll, we need to understand that ZEC had came out clearly that an alleged 2022 voters roll that is being analyzed by a certain consultant of a stakeholder, the commission ought to give it a response. It says that there is nothing like that. There is an administrative process being undertaken regarding the issue of inspecting voters roll. When that is done, it's not done. Anything done at ZEC does not mean that ZEC is biased on one side or the other. I wanted to clarify again that if you look at the conditions which were given to, I'm now on the point of conditions, to CCC to have the elections tomorrow, which Nkomo, you seem to agree with the opposition on this case, which is unfair. The first thing is, it is for protection of the people. We all know at every rally of the CCC or MDC, when they finish, they beat up people. They make noise everywhere. The slogans are stopped in the street. On your way to the venue, don't stop making slogans. Stop provoking people. Stop beating up people. Go where you want to go. And they are saying busing people into an area like Highfields. The reason why it's stopped, it's not because they don't want people to come. They are saying this is the time where people from other areas come in Highfields, cause problems, and they retreat back to their areas. When the police come in to find out the perpetrators of the problem, these guys are gone. So to make it easier for police work during this Sunday, they have asked not to bus people. People can come to the rally, they are not just stopped from coming. And the reason why people are stopped from having a convoy is because they block the roads. You haven't seen how rude, how uncouth the MDC and the CCC are when they're on the road. They think it's theirs. They block the roads for everybody. And when they do that, when the police try to ask them to reason, then they start claiming that they've been harassed or they've been arrested. Yes, there are some arrests going around for CCC members, ZANU-PF members, everybody. You are arrested not because you're a member of a political party. You are arrested because you've committed a crime.
We have, I have to chime in there though. We have not heard of any ZANU-PF people who have been arrested in this election cycle, campaign cycle though.
Last week, two ZANU-PF youth members were arrested for scratching a car which belonged to an MDC member. I will check the news for you and I'll show you. And they were ZANU-PF members, they were arrested. And their case is pending in court. But
Okay.
where I want to explain is in Nkomo, where Seguru Jokora had raised. This man called Tendai Biti is a psycho. He was arrested not because of anything else, because the police had suspicion that what he was doing, he was committing a crime. Police will arrest you on a suspicion, not on a fact. Then they will investigate when you're within them. So they took him to a police station. They interviewed him. Then they did not have enough evidence to arrest him. So they let him go. So it's not like he has been arrested or anything else. He was called in for questioning. When the police were satisfied that there is no charge to be put against him, he was released free without a charge. But the problem here is when a person is called to a police station by the police, they think that it's an arrest. No. If the police tell you that they have arrested you, that becomes an arrest. BT was never arrested. He was taken in for questioning and he was released. The following day, he was again on the road, literally daring the police to arrest him, challenging them that if they arrest him, his friends who speak English will come and punish Zimbabwe.
Okay. Okay, because time yafamba, Dr. Mavaza, now I've given you 5 minutes this. I hope you won't complain about that. You've been talking for 5 minutes. But before we wrap it up with other guests, can you respond to this? I'm seeing a video here posted by Zim Live on Twitter, and they are saying that, and this is a video allegedly of the MDC, of the Citizens Coalition for Change supporters who were arrested in Harare today for campaigning in the CBD. And ZimLife here is saying a video has emerged apparently showing police officers repeatedly beating supporters of the Citizens Coalition for Change who were arrested earlier today for driving in Harare with stickers advertising their party's rally in Highfields on Sunday. Zim Live is also tweeting from Bulawayo here that commuters face traveling hell in Bulawayo this evening after Zupco sent some of his buses to a ZANU-PF rally in Kulumane to ferry the party's supporters. This was the scene at Pick n Pay Hyper a short while ago. They are posting a picture there of stranded commuters. You have a minute to respond to that, Vamavas.
Thank you. Firstly, the rally in Bulawayo where people were being taken to the rally point addressed by Kembo Mohadi. it was very peaceful and not violent. But the buses, ZANU-PF had hired the buses. So it's up to the bus company. You cannot hire out your buses when you've got an obligation to pick up other pedestrians. They were supposed to plan. This has nothing to do with ZANU-PF. It's ill planning by ZUPCO or those in charge of buses. But
again, let me chime in there. You saw the condition that was imposed on Chamisa yesterday is that he must not bus supporters from other constituencies. And talking about the ZANU-PF rally in Bulawayo today by Kembo Mohadi, if we are to be fair about the police acting impartially, did Mr. Mohadi address only people from Kulumane and not from other constituencies in Bulawayo?
No, this is the difference. The difference is that people are not stopped from coming to Chamisa's rally wherever they are coming from. But it's the use of buses, with people who will be moving there, making noise and sloganeering and blocking the roads, which has made the police to say, do not bus. They can come there, they find their own way. They can come in their own way. They have not been stopped to come in a lorry. They have not been stopped to use a train if they could, or fly there if they've got the money. It's only the buses which would then cause these congestions. The reason for that is that it's well known, and Mr. Jokora would agree with me, that ZANU-PF rallies are always very peaceful, and MDC rallies are very violent. So the police use their discretion. It is not used on a political basis, but it's used on their criminal intelligence. So
Thank you.
It is CCC is violent, so stop them from being violent.
Thank
and these are
you.
ways, and not to punish them, but to save the people of Zimbabwe and protect our own people.
Thank you, Dr. Mavaza. Vamwe vakucomplaina kuti ndiri kukupa nguva yakawandisa. Saka Mav, let's try and wrap it up there because nguva dzafamba.
Herigeti nzwe kubva kuna vadzokora mazuva avo ekupedzisira takatarisa musangano wavo wemusi wesvondo.
I must register my disappointment. Dr. Mavaza is coming here bullying everyone, bullying even VOA to the extent that you end up giving him more time. I'm here representing my party. Someone is there representing their organization. We get 5 minutes each. Mavaza cannot get 10 minutes or 20 minutes because there are two people that are speaking against ZANU-PF. That's not fair. It should be 5 minutes, and we go like that. And I'm actually dismayed that he is saying that CCC are violent. We have never been violent anyway. This is our first rally. Where has he seen that? Where has he seen our supporters are being violent? We have never been identified as a violent party. We are a non-violent organization, and we do not have the capacity to be violent. We don't have guns. We don't have baton sticks. We don't have police to support us. We don't have the army officers to support us. He purports that ZANU-PF rallies are always peaceful. Yes, because they are protected by the army. They are protected by the police. They are the ones that are protected. When it comes to CCC members, we have no protection at all from police or from the army. We are on our own. But that as it may, the people of Zimbabwe are convicted, and I want to urge, as I finish, every Zimbabwean who is in Zimbabwe right now to be preparing to go to...
we have a problem there. Mr. Zokora Murundinzo. Okay, we are having challenges with Vadzokora there, but as we wrap it up, Simba, we have also politiki via politika lapha. Nasikhangela imhlangano ekhona ngempela sonto lapha ubaba uMonzora kusasa koBulawayo uChamisa eHarare uthi wenga uthuza kuba lwakho umhlangano eMaswingo I think ngesonto laye ngokwenzakalayo ukubotshwana okukhanya sokukhona lokwethuselana isizwa ukukhulunywa yiCCC ubona imhlangano yangempela sonto le iqhutshwa ngokuthula
engakutsho mina ukuthi in fact mana ngikhothi uPaul Mangwana ukhuluma ngo2018 Paul Mangwana, what the election is not won on ballot day, on voting day. It's won during the 5 years before. So, ukuthi ke kufuna ukulungiselela okujulileyo ama-elections angafiki. Impumela ye-election day ngokade kusenzakala phakathi kwesikhathi. So-ke nxa amabandla kade engalungiselelanga ngeke a-expecte izibanga. Then nxa sesiya kumhlangano yangempelaviki njengokutsho kamfowethu we-ZANU-PF, imihlangano ye-ZANU-PF izabe ilokuthula njengokuhlala kusenzakala ngoba babe le-police presence. Okuyinto esifisa la ukuthi yenzakale kumabandla aphikisayo, athole ukuvikeleka kwamapholisa, amapholisa abe impartial ukuze kungabi nodlame esilujayele ngesikhathi sokhetho.
Indaba yokusetshenziswa yokuthwala abantu besiza kumarali lapha, imbuzo ubaba Mabaza ukuthi uthi ukuthi iZANU-PF namuhla ubaba Mohadi koBulawayo ube labantu benkulumane kuphela yini, njengoba uChamisa kuthiwe akumelanga alethe abantu from other constituencies. Uthi yena uMabaza hayi, lokho kwehlukene ngoba i-condition kaChamisa ngeyokuthi abantu bengabuya ngenyawo kumbe basebenzise ezinye imeans, kodwa okuvinjwayo ukuthi basebenzise amabhasi ngoba balodlakela bagcina bevala lemigwaqo. Ungathini ngalokho?
Olusizi ukuthi-ke abasekeli bamabandla whether ngele-ZANU-PF or i-MDC or i-CC or yiphi, nxa besiya emhlanganweni bavame ukuba lodlakela. Ama-supporter e-ZANU-PF or-MDC bonke nje abantu driver begijima ukuletha ingozi to ezinye izakhamizi. So kulusizi ukuthi-ke amapholisa abe sesithi hayi, abaletha ukungaziphathi emgwaqweni ngabasekela ibandla elithize, hayi lokho akuqondanga. Abasekeli bamabandla wonke benza njalo, bahamba befake ama-sticker amabandla bezimoteni, amabandla wonke hayi amabhasi, kube nje i-chaos edolobheni lapho. So okwanamuhla unfortunately angifika nenkulumane, kodwa engikwazi ukuthi-ke each time nxa umthungameli welizwe webandla elibusayo esiba nomhlangano, akuvamanga ukuthi kube yizakhamizi zaleso siqinti kuphela. Buyabuya abantu avela kwezinye izigaba ukuze ama-numbers akhanye emaningi, ngoba kuvame ukuba yinhlekisa ukuthi nxa omkhulu ebuya kube labantu abangafiki 100 or 1000. So kumele kube kugcwele abantu abaningi.
Siyabonga Simba. Mav, Simba no Gereketa onogona kumvunza wekupezisira.
Okay, let me just read from what I'm seeing from Fadzai Mahere on Facebook. She says, our lawyers have confirmed that a total number of CCC members held at Harare police station are 13 to 12 men and 1 woman. The lawyer confirms that they were tortured and assaulted heavily before the lawyers obtained access to them. Charges remain unclear. This is what he just posted on social media. Asiregaitinde kuna Mkoma Simba mutipo mazvenye kupedzisira kuti munoona sei zviri kuitika tiri pakugadzirira kwesarudzo yema-by elections.
Election aiwini nemusi wekuenda pasarudzo ballot day, but ma-elections anowina nekugadzirira makore before. Saka zviri kuitika ndezvekuti mapato engasina kugadzirira kupinda musarudzo idzi. Ndosaka tiri kunzwa zhowe kuti uyazoti chero nayo ZANU-PF pachari toti inowatsigiri wayo vari kurwa kuBulawayo kuchiratidza kuti ZANU-PF ikisina kugadzirira sarudzo dzekuze kuBulawayo uko. Ndokwazoya vice president nhasi kuti anoitawo rally yake. Saka I think tichibvumirana na Dr. Mabaza kuti zvimwe zviri kutaurwa inyaya yekuti vanhu vangasina kugadzirira kupinda pasarudzo, kuzoti kana wazojiwa mberi uko kuti gara zvatanga takataura kuti zeki kune zviri kufamba mushe kuzeki, but tozotaura kuti iyo zeki pachayo inofanira kuti igadzirise kuti pasawanikwe mitauro yakawanda-wanda. Tatingati paevery election inoitwa pobuda mutauro kuti aiwa bato rezeki rinodai, aiwa ngatigadzirisei kuitira kuti panoita sarudzo pasawe nenyunyutu afterwards.
Siyabonga lapho Simba uMarvellous lapho bekhuluma ngokuthi i-update esikhona ngokubotshwa kwabasekeli be-Citizens Coalition for Change. According to isikhulumeli saleli bandla unkosazana Fadzayi Mahere ukuthi kubotshwa abantu abangu-13 to 14 njalo uthi bahlukuluziwe kakhulu bachaywe ngamapholisa ngokutsho kwamagqwetha abo njalo bathi sikhuluma nje akukaziwa ukuthi baza kwetheswa cala bani kumbe babotshelweni. Maf
aiwa sekutaura kwaita Ntunga sipari zvino hatina kunzwa divi remapurisa kuti ndo zviri kuitika here kana kuti zvaitika muzuva ranhasi. Handizivi kuti tichiri nenguva here yekuti tibvunze vanyarikani vedu kana kuti zvavharana.
Nguva dzafamba Mav ngativhare chirongwa, and we would like to thank our guests tonight. That's Dr. Masimba Mavaza of ZANU PF, Simbarashe Nembaware, my good friend, journalist and a social commentator, as well as Mr. Tawanda Zokora of the Citizens Coalition for Change.
I'm Marvellous Mhlanga here in Washington, D.C., saying have a very good night.
I'm Ntungamili Nkomo.